Welcome. My name is Debbie, and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. And I thought I would give you my face here for a minute. I haven't done this in the past. I'm just going to give you a quick little introduction, and then I'm going to show you some things on how I want to make a journal. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus, and it wasn't really affecting my life in a severe way. I had some joint pain and a few different things, but it came and went, and it was very manageable. About 5 months ago, I started having some severe pain, and it moved around to different joints and got to the point where I went back to my rheumatologist and asked for some help, and he's been kind of working with me to see what we can do. And for the last 5 months, I've had some really severe joint pain. It's particularly bad in the evening and into the night. Thankfully, the Lord has blessed me with days that are pretty good, and I can continue doing what I love to do here. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep doing this. I'm praying that the disease won't progress too quickly, but that is in the Lord's hand. So I decided to make a journal that would house some things that would be helpful for me in my journey with lupus. Things like, foods to eat, things to avoid, pain management, exercise, all of those kinds of things. So I started looking for some pretty papers, and I went over to Bible Journal Love and found some freebies that are in one of her courses that's called Beauty from Ashes. And I love the paper, so I started printing out some of the papers, and then I looked at the word prompts that she has in there, and they really seem to fit my journey. So I thought, instead of just having a journal that's going to be for, food and exercise and that sort of thing, why don't I make it about my journey of faith and how this pain that I'm having to deal with right now is changing me and drawing me closer to God, and for me to just remind myself of the spiritual benefit that comes from when we go through suffering. So I'm just going to change the camera angle and show you what I have come up with so far. Okay, back to a familiar camera angle. So I designed this for my cover of the journal. If you were with me a couple of weeks ago, I made this waterfall journal with another one of Bible Journal Love's kits, and talked about how her kits are a little bit different. You can design things digitally and then print them out. So that's what I did on this journal. So if you're interested in how to do that, you can take a look at that video. But I designed this using her images on Photoshop. And so this will be my cover like this. So these were all just elements that I resized and recolored a little bit and put drop shadows and all that kind of stuff. And I added a little bit of text there. A testimony of my painful journey with lupus and the wondrous grace of God that carried me through suffering, refined my heart, deepened my faith, and is daily shaping me into the likeness of my beloved Christ. So that is kind of the gist of this journal. And then I took, she had words for different sections in there. And this is where I kind of thought, I see it cut off a little bit there. I'll have to reprint a little bit probably. This is where I kind of thought, this is what I want to focus on. Rejoicing in hope, growing in faith through testing, contentment in all circumstances, seeing the eternal perspective, bearing one another's burdens, the promise of restoration, endurance that builds character, pruned for greater fruitfulness, God's presence, the God who restores, the purpose in pain, comforting others, refined by fire, hope as an anchor, strength in weakness, The Final Victory, Beauty for Ashes, More Than Conquerors, New Creation, Waiting with Expectation, The Unexpected Gift of Joy, and Broken for a Purpose. So I thought all of these are just really, really good prompts for me to kind of think about as I journal about my experience. And I am going to use this journal as well for some, I've looked at different sites with lupus information over the years, but I haven't paid attention as much as I needed to. I kind of think, oh yeah, I got to remember to do this. This time I think I'm going to get a little bit more serious and just write out some helpful things and then do them and see if that helps, because I'm to the point where sometimes you have to get to a certain point and then you can you can do it. So I'm at that point now. So those are the prompts. So I'm going to cut or rip those out and use them on my pages. And then I just printed out 12 of her mixed media pages that she had with this kit. I'm not sure. Did I mention? I think I mentioned she has Bible studies, and this one is called Beauty from Ashes. And then she has kits, optional kits that go along with the Bible studies. And then also within the Bible study, she offers freebies from time to time within the month-long study. So all of these that I printed out here are freebies, including this. I don't actually have the kit for this one, so everything that you see here is freebies after you get the Bible study. So, the kit is optional. There's lots of really good stuff in the kits as well, but this does not include the kit. So, just mixed media backgrounds. They're all kind of similar. Beautiful pages. I just love them. I love the colors. Some of them I have upside down here. And then on the other side, I just printed, out these lace pages. It was an older kit from My Porch Prints when I very first started doing this junk journaling. I found this kit on My Porch Prints, and it's called Old Lace, and I think it's 12 pages of this old kind of coffee dyed lace, and the colors just blend super well with this kit, and I love the pages, and I love that I can just do whatever I want on them to embellish my journal. It's kind of a blank slate there. Some hearts, some more hearts. So gorgeous pages. And then I found a couple of pages of pink coffee dyed paper that blended with the kit. So I just grabbed those out. I have this coffee dyed piece of paper. I have some lined paper. And then I also had some papers. These are from Stampin' Up, and they're paper. They're a little bit heavier weight paper, but they're paper, and they're all two-sided. And I just picked out a bunch that I thought would blend nicely with the kit. And so I have some greens and blues and pinks and a brown. And so what I'm going to do is, back up for 1 second. I'm going to use, I've made these several times on my channel before. I'm going to make an envelope cover for my journal. So I'm not going to show that on camera, I don't think, because I've done it a few times, and I want to focus on the pockets. This is going to be about pockets. So I'm going to use this as my base for my journal. I found some envelopes that just kind of coordinate with the kit, and these are just, some of them are used. So I'm going to make some pockets with these. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to pause the camera, maybe for a couple of days. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me. I'm going to assemble the journal, and then I'll just give you a quick flip through of what I did and explain what I did. And then in the next video, part 2 of this series, I'm going to show you, I'm thinking in my head 25 pockets. I'm not sure if that's going to be too much. Maybe it'll be too much. But I want to give you, like, when I start a new journal, sometimes, I have all these ideas, but it's like, what am I going to do first? And, it's hard to think of the ideas sometimes when you're just starting a new project like that. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself, I'm saying 25, it might not be that number, but basic pockets. Pockets that I use all the time, really simple pockets. Some of them are going to be just basic cut and fold maybe. Some of them are going to be using envelopes. Some of them might be using book pages. But just 25-ish basic envelopes that we can put in a journal, and that will be our start. And then I always like to put in a few little, kind of wow things into a journal. So then and it's usually things that I've just kind of learned recently, kind of somebody inspired me to try something. So then I'll put in, 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 of those wow things in my journal as well. And then that will make that journal unique. But if we start each journal with, kind of basic pockets, and it might be pockets, it might be other like tucks or belly bands or that sort of thing, stuff, places to put things in. I'm not going to get into tags in this journal. I'm just going to do the things to put things into. So pockets, belly bands, tucks, yeah. So I'm going to show about 25 ways how to do that. And then really basic, I'm going to make them all with these papers. I'm going to put them in my journal, and then we'll kind of go from there. So if you're interested in the pocket thing, if you want to subscribe to my channel and enable all notifications, then you'll see when that's coming, because I don't know when that's going to be done. But if you hang tough for a couple of seconds, I'm going to show you my finished blank journal that I made with all of this goodness. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my finished-ish blank journal. So I ended up, I have the envelope underneath. I decided I wanted a spine because I decided I wanted more than one signature. So just folding the envelope in half was not enough to give me that width for the signature. So what I did is I just cut my envelope in half, right down the middle, and then I just cut a piece of cardstock that was the height of my journal, so 8.5 inches by 3 inches wide. And I put I scored it at 1 inch from each end. Let me just, I'll give you a miniature version here of what I did. So this is my 3-inch, just pretend this is 8 inches long here. So I scored it at 1 inch from each edge. So 1 inch here and 1 inch here. So at 1 and at 2. And then I scored it at 1/4 inch 3 times in the middle section. So I did 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and 1 3/4. So that's what I came up with, and that's 8.5 inches long. So I just folded on these 2 scores here, on the 2 outside ones, and I shoved this part inside the open part of the envelope here. So this is underneath, in between the 2 layers of the envelope on that side. You maybe see it just a tiny bit at the end there, maybe not. And then the other side, I did the same thing on the other envelope. And then what I have in the middle is just place for my 3 signatures. So I have 1 signature in this line, 1 signature in this line, and 1 signature in this line. So then I just sewed in my signatures, one on, the farthest line, one on the middle line, and one on the first line. So that's all I did. Very simple. Then I made 3 signatures. So I used some of the paper from the Ashes, Beauty from Ashes journal kit, and then I just went through my stash of just extra random papers and just found some things, so I put that one in. This was something from another kit. It might be Artie Mays, but I might be wrong. This was just a copy dyed page that I had made. So then I just put in 7 pieces of paper on each signature. I decided not to. I was going to do little short papers and all that kind of stuff. But I decided just to keep it really, really plain here initially. So I just have 7 pages folded in half in each of the signatures. So I have 21 pages total, 7, 7, and 7. That's it. So then I wanted to cover the inside of my envelope, and I thought I would wait to show you that because I wanted to show you, you know, how I kind of made that spine there. So I could just print out another digital, but I'm kind of in the mood for using up some of my cardstock stash, or my paper stash rather. So this is just some Stampin' Up! 2-sided designer paper, and I'm going to cut it at maybe just shy of 6 inches. And I'll need 2 of those. So that's all I have left. And then I will, my envelope is 9 inches. Do I want it? I think I'm just going to do it just shy of 9 inches. I don't want the same margin that I had like at the front here. I guess I should show you the cover here too. So I took my cover page that I showed you and I cut it in half. I glued half of it over here, half of it over here, and there was, you know, a little bit of space here, and the spine was showing here. So I glued down first a piece of just this sort of kind of lace, kind of fabric-y stuff in the middle, and then I glued a piece of lace over top. I just used kind of Fabri-Tac-ish glue for that. I just glued it at the edge here and all along here, so this you could actually even use as a tuck still, and inked around the edges, and that's my cover so far. So super simple. So let's just see what we got here. This is definitely too long. The width is good, but I need it. I think I'll do it 8 and, oh, yeah, 9. Let's do 8 3/4 and see what that does. So a little bit more off. There, that's perfect. So I want it basically just kind of up to that score line, and just kind of a little bit of margin all the way around there, like that. And then that will be the cover, the inside cover. I could use the yellow as well. The yellow actually looks good as well. I could use 1 yellow and 1 brown at the back. I think maybe that's what I will do. So I'm just going to get those 2 pieces glued in. Okay, as I was covering the back, I remembered I had this flap here and an envelope here, so I decided to keep this pocket here. And I'm just covered this part here. If you wanted to, you could keep this inside and just cover right over it, but I decided to leave my pocket there, so now I have another pocket there. So yeah, if you want to do it that way, go ahead and do it that way. And then I think I'm going to stop this video for now. And then the next time we're together, I'm going to show you several basic pockets that we can just put in any journal, simple pockets, nothing super fancy, but you know, not, you know, maybe a few that are just a little bit kind of, not fancy or complicated, but you know, just a little bit of variety, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So my goal is kind of to come up with maybe 25 pockets. I've got 7, I've got 21 pieces here, and each of them has 4 sides. So I have 84, is that right? 84 sides to decorate. So if I make 25 pockets, that should be perfect. So I'll leave it here for now, and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video where I show you all the pockets. Blessings.